Hi everyone. Uh, so, hello makers. My name is Abhay. I'm from Makergram. I will be the host for this edition of MakerChat. This is our fourth edition. Basically, Makergram is an open community platform for makers and hardware enthusiasts to learn and collaborate. So, this will be our fourth edition of MakerChat. We took a 3 week gap from our previous one. So, we will carry on with our webinar series. Today, without much delay, I will be sharing about what today's agenda or like what today we are going through. So today, uh, our maker chat is about Fusion 360 basic 3D modeling for additive manufacturing. It will be taken by Suhail. He is working as a technical officer at AIC Rice Coimbatore. He completed his Fab Academy at FabLab Kochi and 2019 batch KSM Technology Innovation Fellow. So for participants, those who have joined, please remain muted. You can ask the questions at the end we have a Q&A session. Please remain muted and mute your video for uninterrupted session. I will be handing over to Suhail for taking the session.
Thank you, Abby, for the wonderful introduction. So, hello, all. Thank you for joining for this wonderful Maker Chat section. So, without further ado, let's begin. It's already 8:02. So, let's begin the Fusion 360 basics. So, let me go through a few about what is 3D modeling, what are the software available for 3D modeling, the use cases for 3D modeling, and what is additive manufacturing and 3D printing, and the pros and cons about Fusion 360 and how you can utilize Fusion 360 for your maker projects and maker products. So, here today, what we're going to do is we will do an hands-on section. We will design and case a 3D printable case for Raspberry Pi Zero or Raspberry Pi Zero W version. So this is going to be a simple design. We can do it in within 20 minutes or 25 minutes, below half hour. It will only take below half about an half hour. It's depend on your skills and the time you take, but for me around it will take around 15 to 20 minutes. So we will design simple Raspberry Pi case. The thing I took a case because most of you guys built projects using Raspberry Pi, Arduino's, ESPs, or your custom built PCBs. Recently, the Maker Chat 02, we the Vishnu gave us an introduction and hands-on section to how to design your PCB using KiCad and open source PCB designing software. So it is an ECAD. Here, what we're going to do is we're going to build an 3D printable case or mechanical parts. You can design in a MCAD, which means a mechanical CAD software, and you can 3D print using any of the 3D printer. So here what we're going to do today is we're going to design and we will also go through how we going to 3D print the design. So currently we don't have a 3D printer here, but I will go through the steps how you can go 3D print it. So if you have any doubts in the section, just keep it somewhere, like keep a note or something. And you can ask in the chat section, or Abhay will be take care of the like the questions, and he will ask me at the end of this section. So here, what is computer aided designing, which means CAD? So basically in previous Maker Chat sections, you already know what is CAD, computer aided designing, which is designing anything using a computer. So computer aided designing is a computer technology that design a product or document that designs process. So what we're gonna the main advantage of computer aided designing is which is automated a lot of stuff what we manually do or what we do in what we do in physically, like in previous in the ancient time, or in the like in the 1980s or 90s. It is like designs are mostly done using paper sheets, like they will use charts and graph papers, and they do manually, they design manually. It is mostly sketchings and drawings. Then when the computers are got power, like when the computers came, and the computer aided designing softwares are introduced to the market, and designing a product is much easier than in the previous in the 20th century. So in 21st century, there's a lot of computer aided designing softwares are available, and they are powerful, and it will help us a lot in designing process. So these are the what is computer aided designing definition. And the next one should be like computer-aided machining. So there is computer-aided designing and computer-aided engineering and computer-aided machining. The computer-aided designing, we already go through the computer-aided designing. And the next part is computer-aided engineering or computer-aided machining. The computer-aided engineering is outdated method of doing manufacturing. But computer manufacturing is a modern, like updated version of KAE or computer engineering. So let's go through the definition. Computer manufacturing is an application technology that uses computer software and machinery to facilitate and automate manufacturing process. CAM is a successor of computer-aided engineering and is often used to tandem with a computer-aided designing. So which means computer engineering is an outdated method. We are not going through the KE because it is a lot and it is already outdated. The CAM, which means the machine, the manufacturing machine is capable of communicating with computer. So a 3D printer or a laser cutter or even a CNC machine, which are capable of communicating with a computer. It itself have a computer in it, microcontroller, and that microcontroller board will communicate with a computer. So the computer aided machining, there is a lot of softwares for 3D printing. It is called the slicer softwares, and for like for CNC like show boards, they have a VCarve software, and there's another open source software like OpenCam, and there's a lot of softwares and available for doing CAM for different machines. So most probably the computer machining, like these are mostly being seen in manufacturing area. So when you in the previous microchats, we learned about how PCBs are manufactured. So these PCB manufacturing are done by a CAM, like computer-aided machining softwares and machines. So basically they have a software and they have some resource file to do the computer-aided machining, which is for PCB, it is called Gerber files. For 3D printing, it is called G-code files. And for machining purpose, like CNC, most CNC machines, like 3D printer is on CNC machine, and laser cutters are the CNC machines, and even CNC routers are, or even printers are CNC machine. So most CNC machines are supported by G-code files. The G-code files include the X, Y, and Z axes of like coordinates of like the path. The G-code containing the X, Y, Z paths where it need to go. So G-code files are the mostly used supporting file for doing CAM. And let's go to from CAM to Autodesk Fusion 360. So there is a lot of softwares available for doing 3D modeling. So before we go into the Autodesk Fusion 360, let me explain how the where are the 3D modeling used in our market or in our daily life, from our dress to our phone to our computers, even to our even tables and furnitures, and our house and buildings. Everything is designed nowadays. Everything is designed using a CAD or CAM tool. So like our phones are designed in and our laptops are designed in CAD tools, calculators are designed in CAD tool. So most of the products in the market as nowadays, mostly electronic products are designed in a CAD tool. What about the Fusion 360 is there's a lot of softwares available for doing designing. So the for like we all are watch movies, right? In the movies, like Marvel's movies like Iron Man, like Captain America or Black Widow. It is not released yet, but Black Widows and Black Panthers. These movies, or even Superman, Batman, these movies are like mostly, or even Jurassic Park. They used a lot in their movies. They use a VFX a lot. So in VFX, CAD tools have a lot of involvement. So the CAD tool for doing animations and VFX are used like Blender and Cinema 4D or 3D Max. These softwares are mostly used for doing animations and VFX. So, or even gamings like for designing gaming characters. Most of you guys are playing PUBG Mobile, right? Or PUBG in PC, or even Call of Duty or Far Cry. These games are designed in ZBrush or 3D Max or Cinema 4D. But ZBrush are the most commonly used 3D modeling software for doing gaming characters and game animations. And for doing animation videos and VFX, they are mostly used Cinema 4D and 3ds Max. These are more commonly used professional software, but industry softwares like there's a lot of industry software. I'm not much aware about animations, but there is a lot of film industry softwares available for doing VFX and animations. And for gaming, the industry software mostly uses ZBrush. And other than that, there is a lot of architectural designing. For architecture and civil designing, most of the engineers or the industry use AutoCAD or AutoCAD. We already know what is AutoCAD because it is in 20th century software and it is more powerful right now. And for civil and architectural designing, mostly use even they use SketchUp and AutoCAD. And for mechanical designing and electronic designing, there is a lot of 3D modeling, like for engineering purpose. Now we are coming to engineering purpose, like a mechanical designing or electronic designing. There is a lot of softwares used in the industry because we have a lot of software available for doing engineering purpose, like, because most of the like all the products are designed in and CAD tool. So there is a lot of powerful software available in the market. So one of the famous software for doing engineering designs are called SolidWorks. Most of you guys heard about SolidWorks, like because a lot of in I think in engineering colleges they will teach SolidWorks. There is software like SolidWorks, Rhinoceros, Fusion 360, Rivet, and Inventor. There's a lot of softwares used in the industry to design for engineering. So here, what is the benefit of Autodesk is Autodesk Fusion 360 is Fusion 360 is a cloud-based 3D CAD and CAM tool for product development that combines industrial and mechanical design collaboration and machining in a single package. Fusion 360 enables fast and easy exploration of design ideas with an integrated concept to production platform. So Autodesk Fusion 360 is a new era of designing tools for engineering. So what I mean is Fusion 360 is a hybrid software. Like it is a cloud-based software. Like you learned about Easy EDA, right? A few of you guys use PCB for PCB designing. The design software most of you guys use Easy EDA. So Easy EDA is a cloud-based software. Fusion 360 is also a cloud-based software, but also have a client side. So basically, most of the 80% of the Fusion 360's functions are running in cloud, and 20% of the Fusion 360 functions are doing in your computer. The main benefit of the Fusion 360 is, or this method is, if you have a low-end computer, like let me take an example. You have a hard disk on your laptop and you only have a 4 GB RAM and you have a Core 2 Duo or i3 processor. You don't have a much like a higher end or uh, uh, like a high spec computer. You don't have any high spec computer. You have a mid range computer. Then Fusion 360 helps a lot because it will most of the functions of Fusion 360 is run on cloud side, like Autodesk server side. So we do the the Fusion 360 client software does not use much resources from your computer. So even a low end spec computer can use Fusion 360 much easier. So Fusion 360 is lightweight. Like it is cloud based. Due to cloud based, it is lightweight. It does not take a lot of resources from your computer to run the processor. So this is one of the benefit, and the second benefit is it is a campaign tool for product design, product development. Like it allows collaboration. So let me take an example. In Rhinoceros or SolidWorks, there are like power hungry softwares. Like you need to use your computer resources for running the software. So it will take around 4 GB to 6 GB RAM for intermediate designing process. So there are a bulky software, but Fusion 360 is a lightweight software. And also it also like version control. The main benefit of Fusion 360 is it have an integrated version control. That's the main benefit, one of the main benefit or primary benefit of Fusion 360. The version control is mostly, it will, this is a GitHub for mechanical designers or 3D designers. This is like engineer, like for software engineers or designers or graphic designers, they have GitHub. But for designing engineering purpose like MCAD or ACAD, the
Excuse me,
Autodesk
sir.
Eagle is one of the, yeah. Yeah. Hello.
Hello, sir. I have.
Sorry. Okay, let's continue. Whatever. Let's continue the section. If you have any doubt, please ask in the end of this section. If you have any doubts or confusions, you can ask in the end of this section. Let's continue the section. So Fusion 360 have an built-in like a version control. So the version control, which means your project will be saved in both in your computer and also in the cloud. So the benefit of the cloud saving feature, if you lose your computer, like your hard disk, or if you lose control of your computer or something, you can log in to your Fusion 360 account from another computer, and you can access all the project files in your Fusion 360. So there is no possibility to lose your project files from your computer, because mostly the projects are saved in the cloud. And also it will save, you can backtrack, or you can go backward, or you can go to your previous saved version from your Fusion 360 using the okay. So let's go to and the next feature is like it combines industrial and mechanical design collaboration and machining in a single package, which means it also it support CAD, CAM, and CAD and CAM. So basically in SolidWorks or Rhinoceros, it does not support CAMing, so computer aided machining. But in Fusion 360, it have a built-in CAD, built-in CAM, and also it have built-in simulation. But SolidWorks also have simulations, but it also have a rendering. So Fusion 360 allow us to do rendering inside the Fusion 360. Like it have a plugin for rendering. It not even a plugin. It have a module for doing plugins, and also it have a simulation and also for CAM. So CAM will support a wide range of machine, like a built 3D printer. Most of the branded 3D printers are, or you can include your custom 3D printer, or if you are using an Ender or Creality or an any of the Chinese variant, you can directly import the parameters of your 3D printer or your CNC or your laser cutter, and you can directly control your machine from Fusion 360. And also there is a simulation and also rendering. So let's go forward. So that's the about Fusion 360. Fusion 360 is a complete package of from your rapid prototype to production. It will support both, like you can do your rapid prototype to your production. So this is a complete package for makers and engineers. So let's talk about what is additive manufacturing. So that's the main point of designing like Fusion 360. Like Fusion 360 is support additive manufacturing in a better way. Because for additive manufacturing, the Fusion 360, I already told you, Fusion 360 allow us scamming, so computer-aided machining. So it also have built-in CNC profiles, like CNC router profiles, laser cutter profiles, and 3D printing. There is a built-in slicing software inside Fusion 360. You can utilize the built-in 3D printing option, or you can utilize another CAM tool. However, in Fusion 360, you can do like save the STL file, or you can directly print from Fusion 360. So what is additive manufacturing, which means additive manufacturing is a process of doing or manufacturing an object or a physical object by adding multiple layers, or by adding the materials into that surface. Like you can see the 3D printing process here. So additive manufacturing is mostly 3D printing. So the additive manufacturing means it is 3D printing. So how we do 3D printing? So first, what we need to do is we need to design the object, the physical object what you need. In our case, it is a Raspberry Pi Zero case. So we will design the case in Fusion 360 or any other CAD tool, and we will save it as a STL file format. The STL file format is a mesh format for the 3D model. So it is a mesh format, STL. After we saving slicing software. The slicing software is a CAM software for 3D printers. So we need to generate a G-code file for 3D printer. The 3D printer only supports G-code files to print. So in order to print the design, we need to convert the .stl file into G-code. So we need to utilize a slicing software, which is a CAM tool for the 3D printer. So we will import the STL file into the slicing software. And after we setting some parameters to that 3D model, we will save it as or we will export it as a .g-code file format. After saving the .g-code file format, we need to send into the 3D printer via USB or a pen drive or flash drive or even a memory card. Most of the 3D printers are supported by memory card. So we need to copy the .g-code file into a memory card, and then we need to go to the 3D printer, insert your 3D SD card, and we need to select the print option. And everything, like there is a lot of 3D printers like Ultimaker and Creality, Ender or Anet or Prusa. There is a lot of 3D printer, and most of the 3D printer functions are the same, but the way of 3D printing, like the way of the user interface is different. So according to the 3D printer, there is an option to 3D print. So in maybe in Prusa or Ultimaker, there is a direct print option in the menu. So we can directly click that print option, and we can get the file folder into SD card, and we can directly select the file to 3D printer. While doing the 3D printer, the 3D printer will be like a fused deposition modeling. Like the plastic filament will be melted through the nozzle, and after the nozzle, they will the 3D printer nozzle will be moved according to the G-code file, and it will add the plastic layer by layer, and it will be a final physical object. So that's how we do 3D printing or additive manufacturing. So we go to we already covered around half hour. So let's go to the next section. So Fusion 360 modules are support, like there is a 6 modules.
Ugly
There is a
ass fat nigger.
there is 6 modules in Fusion 360. The modulars are design window and rendering, animation, simulation, manufacturing, drawing. Excuse me, is there anyone
Nigger, ugly ass nigger. Shut up, ugly ass nigger.
Apay, someone is have any access to my presentation, like they are drawing in my presentation? Please take care of it.
Yeah, I just saw that. 1 second.
Yeah, thank you. Fusion 360 modules comes with the design. Designing is where we design the 3D model. And there is another module called rendering. Rendering is basically we can make a photorealistic rendering. So photorealistic rendering, which means we can make like a photograph from a 3D model to present in to present to someone, or you can publish it in your catalog or something. For the animation, which means you can animate your 3D model. Like if you have any mechanism, you can do the mechanical animation. And simulation, which means you can do thermal simulation, and you can do stress simulation, like how the material reacted to different parameters. And manufacturing, which means CAM, computer-aided machining, you can you utilize the Autodesk manufacturing module to do the machining directly from the Fusion 360. And drawing, which include all the design like all the even the SolidWorks or Rhinoceros have the drawing section. You can generate different drawings from your from Fusion 360. These are the complete modules from Fusion 360. So let's go to the next section. So I'm sorry for the
sorry for the interruption.
Yeah.
Can you please reshare the screen so we can avoid the sketch?
Yeah, okay. Let me stop share. And okay, so I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, sorry. So sorry. Okay, so what in Fusion 360 we start with sketching. In SolidWorks and Rhinoceros, you can do profile modeling. Profile modeling, which means you can start directly 3D modeling. But in Fusion 360, we need to start from sketching. So sketching means, which means you can you need to design, like build a 2D drawing or a 2D dimensional drawing, which means you need to give all the dimensions of that face, like a single face, or from the bottom to top, or side to like a left to right, or front to back. You can use any of the surface XYZ axis, and you can directly sketch a face, a single face, and we can directly then from that sketch we can start sketch 3D modeling. So and modifying the 3D models. So we will start from sketching rather than profile modeling. So 2D sketching is the base of 360 3D modeling workflow. So we will start from sketching. So here is in sketching, this is a screenshot of the sketching of a Raspberry Pi case. So I start from bottom to top. So from bottom to top, I drawn the bottom section, and then I will add 3D models into like according to the dimensions and my needs. So we will go through the hands-on section much more. So this is the case what we are gonna design today. So this is a Raspberry Pi Zero case. You can design it within 15 or 20 minutes. You can directly, then after designing it, you can directly 3D print it. So I think now we can go to the designing section.
ഇത് സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയറില് GSM മൊഡ്യൂൾ നമുക്ക് തുടങ്ങി കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് കുറച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഒരു 10 സെക്കൻഡ് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന രൂപത്തിൽ.
Okay, so sorry for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to directly design Raspberry Pi Zero case. So here, what I'm going to do is designing the Raspberry Pi Zero case. But in order to design, I need the dimensions of the exact dimensions of the Raspberry Pi Zero. So here I have a screenshot of the dimensions that shared by Raspberry Pi.org. They are officially shared their Raspberry Pi Zero dimension. from these dimensions, we directly design a Raspberry Pi Zero case. So without further ado, we can go to the designing process. So from here, I will share my Fusion 360, and I will go through the designing process. Hopefully we can do within a half hour. After that, we can go to the Q&A. So I'm sharing my, I'm changing my screen share into my Fusion 360. So here is the Fusion 360, and this is the sketch this is the final sketch of the 2D Raspberry Pi Zero. So, and this is the 3D model of the Raspberry Pi Zero casing. So here, let's see what is the interface. I will give an introduction to what the interface. So first you need to create an Autodesk account and you need to log into Fusion 360. So in order to use Fusion 360, you definitely need an internet connection in order to use the Fusion 360, because the Fusion 360 is based on cloud. It's a cloud-based application, and also it have a client application. So what you see is a client application. It's a client application will do, and it is exactly like a browser, how a browser works, like a Mozilla or Chrome or a Microsoft Edge. How the browser works, it is most likely a browser, and most of the functions are like the calculations and the designing are working in the client section, but the rendering, simulation, and animations are done by the cloud base, and the project file savings are done in the cloud section. So let's begin. Here in the hamburger menu, you can see all my project file. So here, when I go to my project explorer, or like the project file window, you can see, there's a lot, there's not much projects, but because this is my new account. For this ESP32 TinyPico, in this project, I already have a Pi Zero case.
Hey Suhail, sorry for the interruption. Can you reshare the screen?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah. So these are the project where your project will be happening. Yeah, you can create a new project here, or you can directly save as a new project. So here, this is a project explorer window, and there is a window called there is a small browser here. This is an project explorer. This is a project browser window, and this is a project explorer. Like project explorer, which means there are a lot of sketching, 3D models, and constraints are added into, or components are added in while you design. So these will be accessible from this project browser window. And there is here there's a normal file create a new design, and you can create a new electronic. You can also design electronics, and there is also you have save option, upload option, save export option. You can export it as a different 3D file format for different 3D like CAM tools and different design softwares. And there is a 3D print option. That's what I mentioned before. Like we can directly 3D print your 3D model. And other than that, we can what the other benefit is, like we can directly create multiple tabs, and we can design multiple 3D models in the same software window. Like there's only one Fusion 360 window I just opened. Right. Yeah, I just opened. So so there's you can use multiple tabs, like in a browser or in a Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. You can directly add multiple tabs here. Like you can see multiple tabs and can add, and you can close tabs, and you can design multiple 3D models in the multiple tabs. And also there's another option called there's in the bottom below, you can see there's a media control options. So these are like the one of the most available feature in Fusion 360. Whenever you want to edit something, you forgot to add, or you are forgot to or change or something, like you need to change any parameters or a dimension or anything, you need to change the measurements, you can directly from here to here, you can directly go back. Using this note, you can directly go back to any of your steps you done before, and you can change it from here. Yeah, so here this is the beginning of the sketch. I can right click on it and you can I can edit. So when I click the edit, I can directly edit the sketch, and when I finish, it will be save all the changes to that design, and we can come back to the current position of the design. So this is also one of the benefit, because you don't need to do undo and redo. Instead of it, you can directly go back whenever you want to, like the design process. Like here around 20 of the design I used 20 of the design process. So you can go to any of the previous design process and you can change the parameters. So other than that, these are the project workspace. When I zoom out, you can see this is a 200 into 200. It will be expanded automatically according to your dimension. So you don't need to worry about the workspace. And from here, you can create sketch. So these are the like options to create sketch, like in the design. So there is a design I previously told you, like there's a design, render, animation, simulation, manufacturing, drawing. We only going to only consider doing, like we only taking designing today. In the next maker chat, we can do rendering and animation, maybe hopefully. For today, we only doing the design section. So in the design section, we have a sketch, create a sketch. We can create a sketch here. So we can start from a sketch, then we can do extrusion. So extrusion is from a sketch, we can do the extrusion of 3D model. Like we have a 2D sketch and we can directly extrude from that 2D sketch into a 3D model. And revolve options are like 3D, like from a single sketch, we can make a like a circle or a rectangle, or in that shapes, like we can revolve from a sketch. And holes are like we can create a hole in a 3D model. And pattern, rectangular patterns are we can place 3D models in a rectangular pattern. And mesh, the form or create form is basically sculpting. How we make a sculpture from a clay, like it is exactly like a clay sculpting. We can sculpt from a 3D model. Most of the this is commonly not used much. It is often using sculpting. And here's some other tools like press pull and filleting, which means you can round the edges and corners. And there is a shell, which means we can shell and 3D model, like you see in the image. And we can combine two 3D objects. If we have two 3D objects and we need to combine it to a single object, we can directly use this tool to combine it. And there is another tool for vice versa, like opposite tool, like we can split it to like a single 3D model. From a single 3D model, you can directly split the 3D model into two objects. So, and there's a move and copy tool here. And there is another new components. So the components, which means in Fusion 360, you can directly see here. This is the primary component or the mother component. So this is the primary component. In the component in Fusion 360, we will design it as a 3D bodies and components. So objects are the multiple 3D models, and components are the multiple components. Like when we considering about an here I can see show you. So here is an 3D the case, the exact case, the entire case is here. So I done there's a 3D model here, so a 3D body. So in 3D mode, you can turn like there's an eye icon also. If you use the eye icon, you can show that 3D that body in your workspace. So when I turn off that eye icon, it will disappear from that workspace, and when I turn on, it will directly come. So this is the first the Pi0 case we took, which means this is a primary component, and there is another component I added which named it as lid, which means the top cover the top portion, which means it is a direct, exactly a new component. So these are like the components are used like for creating multiple components. So here you can see the lid only when I turned on that, but when I click on the primary, I can see both. So in like if we considering a phone case, there is a lot of component like the frame of that phone, the front screen, that digitalizer, and the back portion of that phone. So there's if you are designing in a product, the components are mostly used in the product, not prototyping. For the rapid prototyping and for additive manufacturing, we don't need the components not that much. But if you are designing a product or something, there is a lot of mechanical components are involved in the, or electronic components involved in the design. So we can go for the commands. So these are the basic section, like a basic work interface of the Fusion 360. So from here, we are directly going to start designing the Raspberry Pi Zero case. So here there is an sphere here. The sphere is an view, like a 3D view of, we can control the 3D view. To do control the 3D view, either you can just left click on that sphere, the cube, the cube, and we can we can do the pivot, we can a free view. We can go to any sides here. Also, if you don't want to directly go to click and drag it, you can what you can do is you can click the shift, click and hold the shift, and you can and mouse the middle button of the mouse, the scroll wheel mouse button. So click the mouse button, and also click and hold the shift key, and you can directly free view the workspace. But instead of here, I'm just going to top view. Just I click on that cube, the top cube, the top section of that cube. So here I got the top view, the top view. And using the mouse wheel, you can scroll down or scroll up to zoom out and zoom in. And also, so to create a sketch, we need to start from a sketch, right? So to start from a sketch, what we can do is click on that sketch, create sketch option. So click on the create sketch option and come over here. So when you come over here, there is three surfaces, X, X, Y, and XZ, and YZ. So there is a three surfaces. So what I'm going to do is I need the bottom surface. So I just use the XY surface. So when I do XYZ XY surface, it automatically come to the top view, because we can see the top view from that surface area. So from here, I need to see to design a Pi case, I need the exact dimension of the Raspberry Pi Zero. So I just took a screenshot from here to see the take the reference of that dimension of the Raspberry Pi Zero. So here I just click escape, because it's much easier to see like this. So here the exact dimension is the exact dimension given here, 65 into 30. So you can see that the length and breadth is, or the height and the length and breadth is 65. If you have a 65, height and breadth is the width is 65 and height is 30. So it is already in mm. So it is already given as mm. Already here we can see everything is in mm. So we are doing it in mm. So 65, which means 6.5 centimeter, and 30 mm, which means 3 centimeter. So I'm going to draw a rectangle here. So to draw a rectangle, what I'm going to do is click on rectangle here. When we create a sketch, here we have a 2-point rectangle. So to do the 2-point rectangle, what I'm going to do, click on the 2-point rectangle, and I'm going to the origin, which means 0, 0, 0. So here is the origin, and I click on the origin and I just dragged it here. So to change the dimension, either what we can do is we can insert. There is a 2 text box for height and width. So what I'm going to do is I enter 30. So, and the width is 65. So we got an exact 65 and 30 rectangle. From here, I zoom in to a little bit to see much more in detail. So, and I go back to the browser and I need to, there is a corner radius. So I need to check what is the corner radius. So here they said the corner radius is 3 mm. So I came back to Fusion 360 and what I'm going to do is there is an option for filleting. So these are to do the 2D filleting. So I click the 2D filleting and I click here. So you can see a red mark showing the, it should be happen like this. So I just click here. So, and I can enter 3 mm. So when I do the 3 mm, they filleted to 3 mm, like one of the corner done to 3 mm. But I need to do it in simultaneously. Like I need to do one time, I need to do the other leftovers. I need to do the other 3 corners. I need to do in the same time. So what I'm going to do is click here and hold shift. And when you use click and hold shift, you can select the multiple corners. And it is in, right now it is in 5. Just enter the 3 into your to your text box. So the default measurement is in the measurement unit or dimension unit is in mm. So if you want to change into a centimeter, what you can do is you can directly do the centimeter option here. The default is mm. So whatever you do enter a number, it is take it as a mm. But if you need a meter or like a meter, it is a meter, and or centimeter, you can directly do the centimeter or meter. Or if you want to do the inch, just insert in. So it will convert it to inch. But right now we just only need a mm. So I done the, I just inserted the 3 mm. Now what we gonna do, what we want to do is we need to insert these screw holes, these 4 screw holes. To do this screw holes, they're already said that the distance between from here to here. So let me annotate here. I do the annotation. Spotlight, yeah. So here see, from here to here, it is 3.5 mm spacing, and from here to here, it's also 3.5. You can see here, from left left side to 3.5 mm spacing, and from bottom to top like 3.5 mm. So there's a little bit padding. So what you're gonna do is I gonna create circle here. So let me do select circle. So I just selected a circle, and before doing a circle, I need to exactly need to know where is the 3.5. I need to do the 3.5. So I just took a line tool here, just click on that line tool, and I just drawn a line. It is have a magnet. Whenever there is a line or pole, edge or surface seen, it will automatically connect to like a focus into that line. So in here, I just want to do is create a line. From here, what I'm going to do is a 3.5 mm. For 3.5, and just I click enter. So there is a line here. So then what I need to do is I just create another line, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 3.5 here. So here, what I'm going to do is so the circle need to be come here. So this from here to 3.5 and from here to 3.5. So I just added this line here. What I can do, I can move here. So I just click the line and I can drag it here. So I just drag it to here. So these both are 3.5. But these lines, we don't need it as a lines. But instead of this, what I need to do, change this, I click and hold the shift key, and I need to convert it to the construction line. To do the construction line, just go to the constraints, or you can see, sorry, there is no, there is a sketch palette here. I just opened the sketch palette, and there is a construction option. So construction option is, it is an index line. So it is not come in our design. It is like, it is only for our measurement purpose. So I just converted it to a construction lines. So construction lines here, you can see it is a little bit blurred off, and it is in dotted lines or dash lines. Now I selected the circle here, and I just select the circle, and I need to know how much what the dimension of that circle. So the screw hole. So the screw holes, like, let me see. Yeah, there is 4 m 2.5 mounting holes here. So drill it to 2.75. So we need to, and the tolerance is 0.05. So we need to take it as a 2.75 drilling holes. So what I'm going to do is 2.75. I entered 2.75, and from here what I need to do is I need to multiply. I need to copy it to the multiple locations. So I doesn't want to add it like I need to do the same function here, or the remaining three corners. Instead of what I'm going to do is I again select the tool, line tool, and what I'm going to do, I just come here, and here when you can get a triangle. The triangle, which means it is the center of that line. So I just go to the center of that line, and I just came here, and here also we got a triangle, which means it is the center. So I just click it here, and I also zoom out, and I just came the width side, and I got the center line. And what I'm going to do is I just go to the next opposite of that line. So I just got the center of the area. This is the center area. So what I'm going to do, I again change it to the construction line. So what I'm going to do, I just click escape to escape from the tool, and I just select both of that line, and I convert it to the construction line. So from the construction line, you can see it is happened to the construction line. And what I'm going to do is I need to mirror the I need to mirror this circle to here. So what I'm going to do is there is a mirror tool here. I just click the mirror tool, and you will get a parameter window. What I'm going to do is I select here, select the circle. So instead of this, I need to deselect all this, and I again select this, and so I get one object is selected. For the mirror line is just an index line. So I just selected here. So when I selected here, you can see it is directly mirrored that circle to here. So this is exact dimension from here. This is a symmetrical mirroring of the circle to here. So all the parameters, all the dimensions are correct, or should be exact. So what we can do is we need to measure, is it same? So what you can do is you can select the dimension tool. So for the dimension tool, here is the sketch dimension tool, or you can simply use the shortcut key D. So I click that circle, and I just select that line, the top line, and I also click and shift hold to multiple selection, and I click the circle. For see, this is a 3.5. See 3.53, which means 3.5. So we don't need to like that. I just deleted that dimension. So here all these are same. Now I want to again mirror this into the another opposite. Sorry. To the like, sorry for that. Yeah, okay. So I just select both of them, and I just use the vertical line to do mirror this vertically. So see, it is come to the opposite side, and everything is in same location. So here we added the mounting holes. Now what we're going to do is we need to do these header pins, 2 into 20, 20 header pins. So these are 2 into 20 Raspberry Pi header pins. So the dimensions of the header pins is 20 into 5, sorry, 50 into 5. So I already took, there is no, they are not mentioned what is the measurement of the dimension of the header pin. So we need to take it manually. So I took from my Raspberry Pi. So it is 50 into 5. So what I gonna do is I gonna create a rectangle, and I add it is 5 and 50. So 5 into 50 here. So I know what I'm going to do is I need to create, bring it to the exact position. So what they said is from center, like it from 25th mm, like center of that header pin to here, it is like 29. So from here to here is 29. So to do that, what you're going to do is come to Fusion 360, and what we're going to do is 50, take the dimension from here to here, it is 4.5, and from here to here to here, sorry, to here, it is around 3.5. So what I'm going to do is add, I just took a calculator. So I have a normal calculator here. I prefer normal calculator, but to do this, I just add 50 plus 3.5 plus 4.5. So equal to this 58. So, and I need to minus the 50, the size of the header pin. So I just minus the 50. So it is 8. So I need to keep a distance from here to here 8, 4, 8, 4, and here to here 4. So it will be remain as an exact 50 same location. So what I'm going to do, I just select the dimension tool. So dimension tool, and I select the circle. Select the circle, sorry, circle, and I just give 4. So we need to check. So here from the circle, from the hole to the header pin, it is 4 mm. So it is, we need to recheck the other side. Is it exact? Is it correct? So what I'm going to do is select here, and I select the dimension tool, and I got it is 4 mm. See, it is 4 mm. So right now it is an exact location, and we need to check is there any other constraints to center it. So what we're gonna do is we need to also we need to bring it is in center. We can try that. It is already in center. So what I'm gonna do is select both the lines, and what I'm gonna do is I gonna 2.5. So it is right now, it is like exactly in the same location of that header. So next what we're gonna do is we need to do the header pin. So instead what we need to do is just search for Raspberry Pi 0, Raspberry Pi 0 W. What we gonna so we need to see the image. So you can see this image. From this image, there is an SD card, there is a mini HDMI port, and there is two.
Suhail, hello?
Yeah.
Actually, we can only see your Fusion 360 window. We can see the image because you only shared the software.
Okay, sorry. So
it will share both. Okay. So.
Salman, is there anyone recording the video?
Yeah, recording.
Yes, yeah, thank you. So Salman, let me stop this screen share, and let me change it to next one.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for notifying me. So can you see that Raspberry Pi 0 here? So we done these 4 holes and header pins. So it is in the exact location. Now what we need to do is we need to align this SD card holder and this mini HDMI port and 2 micro USB and this flex cable connector. So let me let's see what they are what they are giving. So what they are providing is they are giving the flex cable connector is 17 mm into 1 mm. So there is 17 mm. We need to make a hole of 17 mm. And for this, they are not given the dimension of the SD card or HDMI or micro USB. In this case, they only given us the spacing from the center. So they only gave us the alignment of that component, but they didn't give us the measurement. So I manually took that measurement for using a vernier caliper and from my Raspberry Pi. And so the width of this, we only need the width. We don't need this. We only need the this width, this dimension, the height. We don't need the width. We only need the height. So it is 12 mm. These are 12 mm, and this is also 12 mm. Both of these are 12 mm. And for this micro USB, these are 8 mm each. Like the width is like 8 mm. So and these are 17 mm. They're already given. So we are going to Fusion 360. Let me share to convert to Fusion 360, and I'm going to share Fusion 360. You can hopefully you can see Fusion 360 here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a rough rectangle of like a 12, like sorry, yeah, 12, and tab. I click just any like a 6 or something. So so I just I just want to put it in an outside area. So here from here, what I'm going to do is 12. So I just made only, I just doesn't need the width, I just only the height. I need only the height, so 12. And I also making another rectangle of 12 here. So the width I just need a 12, 12. And another one is, let's stick with 6. So I done another rectangle here. And then I also create another rectangle of 8m into 6. Sorry, 8 mm into 6. So I just create another one, and I also need another my rectangle. So 8 into 6. So here we added the SD card, the HDMI, the 2 micro USB, and also we need to do the flex cable connector, which is like 17 into 6. Yeah, 6. So now we need to, we just create, 17 into 6. So we added the exact rectangles for the squares and rectangle for that components. Now what we're going to do is we need the dimensions, the exact spacing dimensions. To do that, let me once again share my screen, to change screen to the dimensions. So here you can see that this is 17 mm, and here the spacing are 16.9. From here, like from the center of this, not the point. This is not here. This is not start from here. We just need to start from here. But instead they given from the center of that SD card connector. It is 16.9, and this micro USB it is 12.4, and the other micro USB is 41.4, and the other connector is 54, and the flex cable is 20. It is like it is centered. Both are centered. That's why they are not giving the dimensions. It is centered. So we are going to Fusion 360, back to Fusion 360, and what we're gonna do is first we need to fix it. Fix this. We need to align the SD card. To do that, I go into the dimension tool, select here, and to here. From here to here, let me confirm it. From here to here, yeah, from the bottom to the SD card, it is 60.9. So when I click 16.9, it will go beyond that. Here, see, it is over aligned. So because, but what the Fusion 360 is done is it is starting from the end. But in Raspberry Pi documentation, they are started from the center. To do that, it is 12, right? So we need to take the half, we need to minus half of this dimension. Then it will be like around the exact location. To do that, what we're going to do is I do in calculation like 16.9 minus half of the SD card dimension, which means 6, equal to 10.9. So what we're going to do is we can directly enter 10.9, or what we can do is 69 point minus 6. So I just entered minus 6. So right now it is came to right location. And we also need to do the second HDMI, which means 12.4. So to do the 12.4, what we're going to do is click here, 12.4 minus half, which means 6. So here I entered. So you can see that HDMI cable, HDMI mini HDMI port is now aligned. Now what we need to do is we need to align this. We need to align the first micro USB So to do that, it is 41.4, 40. So we need to do enter 41.4 minus, it is 8, right? So minus 4. So the width is 4. So 8, so half of it is 4. So I just entered 4. So it is, sorry, 41.4 minus 4 is, so it is in exact location now, 37.40. Now the second one is like select second one, and I just click the starting line, and I need to confirm it. So it is 54. So what I'm going to do is to enter 54 minus 4, which means 50. So it is exactly, it is aligned. Now what we're going to do is from here to here is 30. So we need to do the 30, calculate the 30. Yeah, so what I'm going to, I turn on the calculator, and what I'm going to do is I minus from 17 from 30. So I just minus 17 from 30, which means 13. So when we divide it to 2, which means 6.5. So we need to keep 6 point from here to here, we need to keep 6.5. So I just keep 6.5, and I need to confirm the bottom. So it is also 6.5. You can see it is 6.5. So it is aligned center in center. So so here we done everything. These are the we have everything now. Every dimensions are we entered. Now what I need to do is we need to this will be useful. Like we can do it in the next in the upcoming section. So what I'm going to do is now I need to create the sketch, the casings, so surface. So what I'm going to do is use the this is an offset. So select the offset. It is simple, and click on that the rectangle. So we will get a minus offset, a minus offset like so we need like it is like off. So what we're going to do is we need to bring to here. So this is to give a spacing, wall spacing for the casing. So to do that, I need a 1 mm spacing between the wall and the Raspberry Pi PCB, and also the wall for the walls I need to keep 2 mm. So I just entered 3 mm, and I also create another offset, and I just want to I just want to inset of 2. So this will create a 2 mm inset. So the PCB will be kept keep an 1 mm spacing. So now what I'm going to do is I need to extrude the bottom first. So what I'm going to do this, what I'm going to do is I just create the wall first. So I just select, I need to remove this yeah, I need to select all the planes, select everything, and we need the sketch for again. So select every circle, select every space, so it will turn into blue. Select everything. So I'm just selecting all these lines, and I need to extrude into a 3D model. So I just selecting everything. It should be a frustrating moment for you, like it is a time taking, and that's one of the issue. So selecting this, so I selected all, and what I'm going to do is finish sketch. So it will be select all, and I'm going to do is extrude. To extrude, you will get another pop-up. You don't really need to consider right now. It will be like create a 2 mm height. So I just created a 2 mm. So it will be happen to like a solid surface. Now again, come to the sketches folder and turn on the sketch one. And what I'm going to do is I just turn off the bodies and select these walls. And for walls, what I'm going to select all the walls I needed. And what I'm going to do is the total height I needed is 12 mm. So to give the extrude, I gonna do is 12.2 mm because I given 2 mm surface, a bottom surface. So I gonna do is 12.2 mm, and turn on the bodies. Don't make sure you turn on the bodies. And instead of the operation here, you can see the operation. Turn on the change the operation to the join. Then it will join to that single body. So just join and enter 12.2 mm. Sorry, 12.2, so 14 mm. 14 mm. So 14 mm, it will give a exact 2 mm surface, like from here to here, it will be, sorry, from here to here, it will be 12 mm. So we need to consider there's an inspect tool to make sure the measurement. So I'm going to select this and this. So I need to consider, see here, it is the distance is 12 mm because I give the offset value. I added the offset value of 2 mm. So we can confirm it. So now what we need to do is we need to create the, we need to give a, I'm not doing any screw holes. Instead, I'm gonna do is some standoffs for the PCB to set the PCB correctly. So what I'm gonna do is, again, I'm gonna turn off the body. And what I'm gonna do is, I just create inside the circle. I just I just editing the circle again. I'm just creating a 2.5 mm. Create a 2.5 mm circle inside that circle. So I just adding it if so first, like it is a simple way to do it. Just do it at 2.5 inside. This is to create a the standoff. So what I'm going to do is select these circles, select all the circles, and extrude again. And to what I'm going to do is 5 mm plus 2 mm, 7 mm. So I just added 7 mm, and it is join. So join. So here, so when I turn on, there is a 7 mm here. So what we're going to do is 5 mm is also still, it isn't a big size, but it is okay. We can keep this to place the PCB correctly. So now what we're going to do is I need to close this area. So the maximum height of this, all these connectors have a like a 4 mm height or 4 to 5 mm height. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a hole size of 4 mm. So what I'm going to do is create a section top of this. So what I'm going to do is click on the top of this top of that design and click sketch. So it will create a top sketch. Now what I'm going to do is I need to create a rectangle here. So I need to close this area. So you can just do it randomly. So I just doing it randomly. I just creating from here to here, just closing these spacings to close the area for the pots. So I just done, and I again finish the sketch and extrude, click extrude, and select all this. What I'm gonna do is right now is select all the area. Now what I'm gonna do is I need to give a 4 mm. So what I'm gonna do, 12 minus 4, it is equal to 8. So what I'm gonna do, minus 8 will become below. So the red, which means it is cutting, so it will removing the 3D model. Instead I'm gonna do join. So join and enter and click enter. So now we can inspect how much spacing we given. So see, it is 4 mm, we given 4 mm. So it is enough for the holes. Now what we're going to do is we need to create a lid. So lid is another component. To make this lid, what you're going to do is it is the best practice, create components, because Fusion 360 is based on components. So create a components, right click here and create a component here. So let me delete it, and right click in the project browser and or project explorer and click create new component and insert, change the name. Don't stick with the default name, just change the name to whatever it is in this lit. So I just gonna create a lit. So to create the lit, what I'm gonna do, I go into the primary component. What I'm gonna do is I just came back to the view, and I need to create a sketch here. So I just create a sketch, just selected, and I create a sketch and give an offset. So I just give an offset and I click 0. So that's 0, and come back to the lid, turn on the lid, and this is a simple trick. So you could get a selection here. So so here, see, we got another sketch to create a lid. To this, I just capture position, and it's not matter. So create a 2 mm lid. So I just created a 2 mm extrude. Now what we're going to do is we need to do another. We need to came back into the section, and we need to turn off the lid. And what we're going to do is turn on the last sketch and click here. So to click here, and we also going back to the lid and clicking here. And what we're going to do is we're going to extrude this into around which -2. So it will create a just we need to place it correctly, right? So we just it is just we only need to just pop into that case. So what you're going to do is I just turn off this body so I can see the lid. So here, see, there is another extrusion from into the bottom to the below of that lid. And what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to create a sketch here. So in the top, and what I'm going to do is I again do an offset here. So to do the offset, I'm going to do is -1 mm. So -1 mm, and what I'm going to do is press finish the sketch and again de-extrude. So I just want to de-extrude to -2 mm. So -2 mm will be cut. So make sure to cut, because we need to cut off that area. So here, see, now you can see that are these, I turn off all these all the sketches, and you can see now we just need to pop into that, like just keep into that case. So we can see directly, like but when we see, like it will be like directly guided, is like inserted perfectly. So what we're going to do is we need to now there is a header pins, right? The GPIO pins. For the GPIO pins, what we're going to do is we need to again turn on the first sketch, and what I'm going to do is turn off both bodies and lid. And what I'm going to do is select that header pin sketch, and what I'm going to do is turn on the both the lid, and what I'm going to do is just extrude. So I just selected that header and I just extruded here. So to the extrude, and I just it will be cut off. So just select the cutoff default and just click. So here, see, we gave a space for the header pin. Now what we're going to do is we need to turn on that body. When we turn on that body, see, and we are completely given made an Raspberry Pi sketch. Now what we're going to do is, if you need to name your project or something, what we're going to do is again create a sketch here. To create a sketch, this is exactly the header pin size, right? So if we need a little bit of offset here to keep the spiral length. So what I'm going to do is -1 mm. So it will be, and I extrude, de-extrude it. So just drag it to below. So I just de-extruded it. So you can see there is some, we need some of it is there. So we just kept that. Okay. So here, now we keep that offset value also. Now what we're going to do is we need to, if you have any name or something, So edit sketch here. I edit the same sketch, and if you have any need to add any sketch or something, there is a come to that drag and drop menu and select text and click the surface anywhere. And what I'm going to do is in the text window, here in the text window, the text field, what I'm going to do is I just do MakerGram. I just entered MakerGram and zoom out a little bit and just rotate it to a correct position and just drag and drop here. The size should be around 8 mm. So it will be, sorry, we need to move it, text. We need to move back to correct location. So around here, yeah, it is fine. Yeah, and I also text style should be bold to a better view. And what I'm going to do is I just going to select this and I gonna extrude it. So what I'm going to do is extrude it. So I just select here and I just give like whatever you can do is you can minus it or de-extrude it or extrude it. What I'm going to do is extrude it to 1 mm. So here you can see this is the MakerGram Raspberry Pi case, Raspberry Pi Zero case. Now what you're going to do is if you need to make something a better look, what we gonna do is select fillet option here in the modify section, select fillet option here. And what I'm going to do is select the corner and to select the enter corner and just 1 mm fillet, just enter 1 mm fillet. So it will fillet. So here it is filleted. I don't do this for the here in the bottom, because if you 3D printing, the filleting in the surface area will be make a worse quality. So I just keep that top for the lid. I kept it as a 1 mm. So and there is a holes for every ports on the Raspberry Pi Zero, and we can kept it the Raspberry Pi Zero inside here. So this is how we gonna create a design a case for additive manufacturing or for a case for your electronic project. And what I'm going to do is so now we need to export these bodies into 3D modeling file, right? So here there is a lot of there is another, so accidentally there is like the standoffs are came to separate bodies. So what I'm going to do is select modify, and I select the parent or target body, and I select all these standoff bodies and click OK. Sorry. Four of them and click OK. Now it will come to a single body. So this is now a single body. So when I select it, it will completely select it. Now to save it as an STL file, come to that body, select that body, right click, and here save as STL. Click on save as STL, and you don't need to do anything here. Just click OK. When you click OK, you will get a here you will come to a folder. You can save it. So I'm going to do is Raspberry, and name it Raspberry Pi Zero bottom. Underscore bottom. So just and save it as a STL. And the lid, I come to lid, I turn on the lid, and what I'm going to do is I need to, sorry, here I turn on that lid and save as STL. I just click save as STL, and what I'm going to do is click OK, and what I'm going to do is save it as a lid and save it. So it is in STL for we saved it in STL. Now, if you need to do if you want to do like 3D printing, what I'm going to do is I need to open up Cura. So Cura is an open source. It is an open source slicing software for 3D printing. So it is basically made for Ultimaker, their proprietary Ultimaker 3D printers, but it is now open source. They're released as open source. You can add multiple any other branded third-party 3D printer like Anator, Ender, or like Creality, Anator, Prusa, or any 3D printer. So what I'm going to do is I turn on my I just opening my Cura. So I will give you as how we gonna do a 3D printing. So So from the same, so I'm gonna create a stop sharing, and I'm gonna screen share my. Sorry. Okay. So
Hey
this.
Suhail,
Yeah.
sorry for the interruption again.
Yeah.
The time.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So we can wind up, and I will give a like if anyone need to do not how to do 3D printing, you can chat make a chat site like we can make an post for in makergram.com, I think. So so that's it. So Abhay, if let me know if there anyone have any doubts uh, in this section.
Yeah, sure. So thank you, Suhail, for the wonderful session. First of all, I would like to say sorry for the inconvenience or the interruption caused in between to both
Yeah,
our
that's not a problem.
speakers, Suhail, and the participants. So we could take some questions now. If one have any query to ask, you can raise your hands or just post your questions.
Can we copy the images from the Google and make it to 3D?
No, you can't make it copy, like you can't make any 2D image into 3D. Instead, what you can do is you can import it to Fusion 360 as a canvas, and it will be you can see that image there, right there, and you can create a sketch on that image, and you can bring into a 3D. There is no option to directly convert into a 3D, like directly converting a 2D photo into a 3D model. There is no option.
But if we have the blueprint of a car,
Okay.
then we can make into it can be automatically be into 3D, isn't it?
So which means you need as a engineering for an engineering file like DWG, DXF or SVG. This file format, what they give you is there is a it is a 2D sketch. What you're gonna do? What we done here is like we just made a 2D sketch of that a single dimension, right? And then we made it a 3D model. So what we're gonna do, if you have a DXF or DWG file, what you can do is just create a it is still a single face. So bring it to a 3D model. There is no the Fusion 360 does not do any automatic 3D conversion. You do it in you need to do it in manually.
Okay, but there are softwares that do the that does the blueprint many side friend like different view 2x4 3x4 in different 4x4 view also they will do, but after that they will copy that and paste it into this 3D software. I don't know if it is this software, but like this software.
Like in Fusion 360, there is no option. You can only import a single dimension.
Okay, no 2D into 3D.
Not 2D into 3D. Yeah, there is no option to create a 2D 3D from a 2D.
So if we have the side view, the front view, the back view, and the down view of the same object, that we cannot be converted into 3D.
No, you can only do one from one side. Then what you need to do is take the other dimensions as a reference to make that 3D model. There is no automatic tools.
Okay. One doubt: is there aluminum? The material is from only plastic.
No. You can select any kind of material. There isn't material panels there in the rendering.
No, I mean in FabLab.
In FabLab, there is no. I think in SuperFab Lab they are providing, I think, aluminum. I don't know exactly. I'm not in FabLab right now.
Not in Kochi.
Right, Kochi, maybe you can directly ask them because they are in SuperFab Lab. So most probably they have steels there, but I don't know aluminum. If you bring aluminum by yourself, maybe they can machine to you.
Okay. Is there that scanning? If we can scan,
Yeah, you can do the
machine,
3D scan. Yeah, you can do the 3D scan.
when we do that, then there's no need for doing all this 3D modeling, isn't it?
Still, you need to do some reworks on that 3D model because they are not exact dimensions. You need to. There's only a 3D mesh, so you need
Some
to work on it.
imperfections will be there.
Yeah, information will be there, and you need to rectify it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Detailing won't be there. That's what you said.
Yeah, detailing won't be there. The dimensions would be slightly changed.
Oh. Thanks.
Okay. We are short of time. Like there are 2 more questions we can take now.
Okay.
Swala asked about the Fusion pricing, like license.
Yeah, as of now for non-commercial use, if you are a student or if you are an instructor or a teacher, professor, or even you are a hobbyist maker, you can use Fusion 360 for free, unlimited time. You can just for 3 years, whenever it will cover the 3 year, you just need to renew it freely. But it is not for non-commercial use. It is only for non-commercial use. If you make revenue from Fusion 360, you definitely need to buy the license. From last month, the Autodesk updated Fusion 360 licensing. So for Fusion 360 and Autodesk Eagle, for both software, it pricing around 20,000 INR as of now, including taxes.
Okay, one last question. Can you compare Fusion 360 with Blender?
So Fusion 360 is an engineering CAD tool. And what Blender is mostly used for creating animations and VFX. They are used in different sectors. Like the Blender are used in the animations and VFX sector, and it is also open source. And it is maybe you can compare with the Autodesk 3D Max or Cinema 4D. But Fusion 360 isn't for engineering and engineering and manufacturing users. So the both market and the use industry is different. So basically, we can't compare both of them.
Thank you for the answer. Attendees can ask further queries and doubts in our forum and our Telegram group. Please share your feedback. Thank you, Suhail, for the wonderful session. Thank you all for your cooperation. Thank you.
Okay. So shall we end this?
Yeah, we can.